Will and Josh here with the main
from North Lincolnshire there at Scunthorpe.
Yeah, particularly at Cadwell Park.
Somebody pulling off the grid there, unfortunately. Can't see a number from this distance there. I'll try and pick it up there, but we do have a green flag at the back then. So this CB500 race will be getting underway with one less rider, unfortunately, but all lights still the lights. Out they go, and off we go then. Always a bit of a hop, skip and a jump there for that's Max McRae, and he shakes his head in frustration. It's the number 87 machine, in fact, Keith, of Finn Chalk, who won yesterday's race, actually, didn't he? He's going to take the whole shot ahead of Josh Owens, but Josh Owens is right there in his wheel tracks, in his slipstream. I'm not sure if he's going to try and make a move already, but there you'll see the flashing wheels of 87 Finn Chalk leading the way.
Well, can't see too much. They disappear behind the barrier, just that little bit there, and the sun's not quite right to watch it, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to watch them all safely through Cascades. It's a fantastic pace, these little bikes, mate. You wouldn't think these are some sort of little shopping trolley commuter machines, the way these guys get ridden. Obviously, Honda did the big promotion with these many years ago, running this as a national championship at a support race at BSB, where a chap called Tosland managed to do rather well with it. And so we wait for them to come through around the background Shell Oils up towards the Britain chicane, not named after John Britton, the great motorcycle builder, but another Briton who was in something to do with MSV, so fair play, gets a corner named after him, and they'll come across the top there at Hilltop. Easily guess why that's got the name. And I realised that if they were using the short circuit, it gets called Foster's. I don't know who that's after. Anyway, down we come there. Lots of outbraking going on, 2 and 3 abreast as we go through the field. And yeah, definitely working those bars hard. It's the 87 bike who colours here, of course. Oh, somebody deciding to go very wide here. Now that's a very unusual line. Is that into retirement, or are they just trying to keep it safe? Yeah, no, that's somebody went wide. Don't see that very often at Hizzies, and has rejoined at Knickerbrook there. That was the 22 machinist Simon Fitch, so the Rochester man right at the back of the field early on, as the leaders are up with you, I imagine, Bradley.
Yeah, I can see them just making their way around Lodge at the moment, then down Deers Leap and bursting out underneath the bridge once again to complete the first lap, and it is Finn Chalk, bike number 87, leading the way at the moment. We've got a bit of a breakaway 3 here, with Llewellyn in 3rd place, so it is Chalk, Owens, Llewellyn, then 1.1 seconds back to Jake Corty, who's made up 3 positions on that lap. But the big mover, Keith, is bike number 19 in 14th position. That is Alfie Davidson from the back of the grid. He's already up 14 places, making up 23. We've got a yellow flag on the way in towards Old Hall Corner there, unfortunately. I can see Ryder is up and okay. Looks like he may have just took the front on the apex there, but Ryder is actually up and moving the bike off to the side of the circuit himself. So,
good man.
Yeah, absolutely.
We like that.
Fair play, but we'll try and pick up a number on that one in just a second there. But yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on the progress of number 19 of Alfie Davidson, Keith. You said he started from the back of the grid. He's already up inside the top 15 already. Yeah, he's got a bit of work to do over the 9 laps, but, you know, he seems to be the man for the job.
I tell you what, Alfie Davidson, he's not listed as finishing the race yesterday or even retiring from the race, so I'm guessing he could be very fresh to this. This is why he didn't have a time at all. So Alfie Davidson, maybe just a Saturday man, you never do know, because obviously we're running the Friday-Saturday meeting, and not everybody can get the day off on the Friday, I'm guessing, because we obviously saw that with Lewis as well earlier. So let's wait and see how he goes, particularly in the second race, as the leaders come back past me once again. No change at the very sharp end there, as they power their way through. I'm try and keep an eye on everybody. I love the preparation these guys put into the machines. Body colours, not much body work on them, but they really do make these bikes look so good, don't they?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm just having a look, and it looks like that Alfie Davidson there is a podium finisher in the British Sport Bike Championship, so certainly pretty quick there as a teenager.
Okay, fair enough. A good little bit of social media work there, was that, or have you got a bio from him?
No, a little bit of Facebook. Can't be
can't be a bit of FB.
Leaders with us now.
I thought that was for old people.
Well, do I not qualify as that now?
Yeah, you do now, yeah, it's true. Yeah, over 25, you're allowed back on Facebook. Right.
Yeah. Josh Owens leads the way on bike number 165, then it is Finn Chalk ahead of the 277 of Llewellyn there. So Owens, Chalk, Llewellyn, Cottenham, Corty, Kershaw, as looks like a challenge there further down the order. Looked like could well have been Davidson actually. He's in the 158, as Owens does a 56.9 at the end of the first lap there. So let's have a look then. Obviously we do have the 3 kind of classes within this class, don't we, Keith? There's Max McRae is dropping down the order there, unfortunately.
Oh, not again. Poor old Max.
Yeah, made a bit of a poor start there. I saw him shaking his head on the run towards Old Hall just a couple of laps ago.
Well, he retired yesterday as well. He came into the pit lane with some sort of issue issues yesterday as well, so clearly things not running as smoothly. But
Chris Rowland, bike number 15 there, Keith, is not got a working transponder, so number 15 currently in 21st position. You may see him jumping up and down the timing screen just to...
If I had a timing screen to look at, I'd go with that, of course. But hey, listen, at least I've got some power out here, so I can actually charge the radio, so I'll be grateful for that, if nothing else.
So 0.3 of a second advantage for Owens over Chalk, and it's 0.333 over Chalk from Llewellyn there. But like I said, we did have a rider go down at Old Ball a lap ago, so it may well have been Max McRae there, but didn't quite pick up a number. But yeah, Max out of the race unfortunately. But there were lots of changes of position on that lap actually, Keith.
Well, Josh Owens has got to the front and he is starting to eke away that gap little by little. Bike length there, bike length there. I reckon he's got a dozen or so bike lengths, so by the time he gets to you, I think he's going to be close to 3/4 of a second advantage, because obviously there's some seriously good twisty bits out the back to make up some time. Everybody coming through safely again. Starting to spread out a little bit now, starting to develop into their own little battles. Some big gaps between some of the bikes here. Oh, good brave move by a rookie on another bike here there. Coming into his, he definitely gives it the full karate chop there. That was the number 78 machine, proving very effective. Richard Dwyer from the Flint Building and Joinery supported bike from South Normanton. There you go, one good move gets you a quick mention, Richard. Good stuff. But, Josh Owens, what's he doing at the front, mate? It'd be interesting to see his first real flying lap with a clear track in front of him.
56.221 there. He was purple in first and second sectors there, but I saw him on the brakes in towards Old Hall. The bike was moving around a bit underneath him as well, so he's certainly pressing on this lap. As that is Adrian Kershaw there, isn't it? Bike number 23 there. Adrian Kershaw moved ahead of Jake Corty. In fact, they were side by side as they came across the line. So Kershaw and Corty, of course, that is not an in-class battle, that is an on-circuit battle, but still great to watch nonetheless. Reeve, Alfie Davidson moves up another 3 positions on that lap. He's in the 58s, Keith. Yeah, 56.221 as we get another bit of chatter on the radio there, but nothing immediately visible on my end of the circuit, at least.
No, can't see anything here either, I'm afraid. I'm trying to keep it here on the radio. The trouble is I can't actually turn the microphone off to lift up the radio and have a quick listen to what's going on there. All I can do is tell you what visually is happening in front of me, and that's Josh Owens running away with it. Surprised to see him in the 56s, given that he was in the 55s, mid-55s after a couple of laps. Oh, a little bit of an out-braking yourself moment here going on. And of course it is quite slow through the chicane there as well when you do go straight on. And that is the 277 machine of James Llewellyn, so he's relegated a long way down into the 3rd place now, but still nonetheless a solid 3rd place position for him.
Purple sector again in the 1st sector on this lap, Keith, for race leader Josh Owens. We're going to try and keep an eye on him as he goes in towards the lodge in just a moment's time. In fact, there he is. I can see him going underneath the Warwick Bridge now and heading towards Lodge. But he's pulled out at 1.6 seconds over Finn Chalk in the 1st sector alone on this lap then. So he's really got the hammer down as Josh. We're watching him come across the line now. We'll keep our eye on the timing screen. The gap was 0.9 last time around. He's done a 55.353 on this lap and now has a 2.8 second advantage over Finn Chalk. Then it's James Llewellyn up next, 2.1 seconds behind Finn. And then it's Cottenham, Corty and Kershaw having a great scrap there, Keith. That is the green 23 of Adrian Kershaw ahead of the black and orange 53 of Jake Corty. But down the avenue there you go, into the right-hander of Denton's, then towards Cascades. But that is a good old battle.
Yeah, no, certainly is. No, so a little bit further back, I just saw another battle come past me, and it was the number 8, Ryan Arnold, heading up another 5-way scrap as well for the minor placings, of course. Obviously, people are going for their own little trophies in their classes and things like that. But obviously, you just want to beat whoever's around you. I was given the big up to Richard Dwyer before, and typical commentators, Kersey then goes straight on at the. Oh, don't do this to me. He then goes straight on at the chicane here and loses a couple of places. So she's making a fuss of Richard Dwyer. Right. Either back with me again. This thing's decided not to stop playing. Tell you what, that's a big old lead Josh Owens has got now. He is really pushing that thing on. He's got the elbows out, scraping on the ground virtually here, I think. Number 87 bike chasing after him as well. Finn Chalk on the C1 machine. There'll be a class win for Finn again. But I will say the C1 class, no disrespect, it's not the most heavily supported class here because it is the lightweight class, and 75 kilos. There's not many people sub 75 kilos in our paddock, is there, Bradley?
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, I speak as somebody who'd be in the, with leathers on, yeah, definitely in the heavyweight class, no problems at all.
Josh Owens has gone purple in the first sector again with a 22.827. Finn Chalk at 25 flat, and I'm going to try and keep an eye on that battle between Courtney and Kershaw as Owens comes across the line with a 55.061. So edging closer to that lap time from Josh leaning there. He said it's a 54.9, was it? Sorry.
54.992, yeah.
4992. So within a tenth of a second of that one there from Josh a few years ago now. Adrian Kershaw now ahead of Jake Courtney. Then it's Elfie Davidson making up a position on the 243 bike of Declan Reed. So changes the position there from 5th all the way down to 10th position with the 169 of Danny Cartwright dropping down to the 10th place position there. That is 8th place in class. But Tucker Woodall up next. Then we've got good battle there actually involving two rookies, one of which is number 31 Abigail Marshall, Keith. So we've got Marshall Carter, and then the 93 of Ryan Gregory, all close together on the circuit. They should be coming down towards Cascades now.
Yep, they certainly are, and I can see the distinctive yellow bike of Abigail in front of that bunch, as you mentioned before. Yep, Abby's in the program there. That's not actually her bike, I don't think. That belongs to boyfriend Max McRae. I think he'd be probably desperate to get his old bike and his number back, because certainly his current bike and number not bringing him any luck whatsoever. But another one of our fast female riders, because it's a great thing about bike sport. A female can be just as fast as a male. There's no two ways about it. As we watch the leader come past me once again, and Josh Owens still dominating. What's his best lap so far, mate?
55.061.
Yeah, so close to that elusive 55%. Now, I don't know if these tyres get better or worse as the race goes on. I mean, 10 laps around the Oulton Park circuit, you think it's going to be a stretch for any sort of tyres. These guys are running a Dunlop tyre of some description. I imagine it's very much like the road-going sort of tyres that we see on the Ninjas and things like that. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same tyre. I need to have a tyre discussion with either Rod Harwood, our rider of the day's prize supporter and paddock supporter, or even Alan Russell, who supports our rookie of the day. Both those guys have been selling and fitting tyres for over 30 years in this paddock, so they definitely know what they're on about. And I know it used to be from around your way. The Whole Beach Tyre Centre used to come along and support these guys, actually.
Yeah, that's from around my way, around about a quarter of a mile away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I used to have a large transporter that came along to the Thundersport meetings and supported this class. And obviously fitted tyres. Obviously not something they do anymore, I don't think. Certainly not with the British Motorcycle Racing Club, unfortunately. But good to have them along.
I was watching Josh Owens there into the braking zone for Old Hall corner there, Keith, and I don't think there really is much of a braking zone for Josh, because he's pretty much on the brakes and turning in and popping out all at the same time there, so he's just throwing it into the corner and it just sticks and he drives it out perfectly. So last time around he went 1.1 seconds slower in the first sector, but I know he's going through Britons at the moment there and racing up towards Hilltop, so he'll be in your sight in just a moment's time, but it'll be interesting to see if he can crack that 155 bracket.
Yeah, certainly would break that magic 154. Geez, he put a lot of pressure on the front end there. And again, there's a big difference, difference in performance of the bike, how the bike works, how the bike handles, and of course the different feel from the tyres as well. It's just the big slicks he was using on the power bike there, no doubt. Big difference between that and something a little bit of a tread pad, which is going to squirm around a little bit more. And yeah, definitely some quality riding there. I don't know what's he done on the split time at the first sector there, mate? Anything special?
22.8, which is a yellow for him on this particular lap there. The fastest I think is at 22.827. He's done a 22.834, so he's pretty much there.
Yeah, that shows you just how fractionally a difference between a yellow and a purple can be. I think the biggest problem he might be getting shortly is he's coming up with some back markers, I think, so a couple of slower riders.
He's across the line now, Keith. It's a 54.871.
That's okay, there you go. That's a lap record that could stand for a little while. So 54, wow, he's cracked the magic 54. There you go, Wilf. I don't know if you're listening at home, but I'm afraid you're going to have to ring Josh up and tell him the bad news that if we did use it, having done that, I think we're going to have to maybe look towards the Thundersport lap records. I can't include them in the program, but it'll definitely give us some guide as to how we get on there, because that just sort of shows you. And interestingly enough, the other thing we do here at the Bemsee is we're very, very tight on keeping the bikes around about equal. somebody yesterday was found to have a few ponies too many in a bike that they'd acquired from somebody else, to be fair, and they've basically been allowed to run the rest of the meeting but not score points or prizes. But they've got to get it fixed before the next meeting because they're not particularly technical individual, Mark said. So fair play is looking after everybody.
Just a quick one, Keith. Sorry, we've got a rider down. Looks like one of our rookie riders down at the lodge there, unfortunately. So I'll try and keep an eye on it. I can see that, unfortunately, 31 Abigail Marshall is dropping down the timing screen there.
Oh no, it's a great shame.
Abigail is up and perfectly okay there. I can see Marshall's removing the bike from the grass there, but unfortunately for Abigail Marshall, that is out of 4th place in class.
Well, that's a great shame, her championship ambitions, but no doubt she'll be back this afternoon, ready to fight another day if she's up and at 'em. It's good to see.
Well, rider in the pits as well, further down the order there. Looks like it could well be Danny Goff potentially there. I did see a plain white showy, so it could well be Danny Goff, number 60, coming into the pits on this one.
So we're losing a few riders, unfortunately, because that's the other good thing with these Hondas is because they're not particularly tuned. I mean, they're making about 46, 47 horsepower, I think Mark said. Nobody's going mad with the tuning, so you end up with this sort of mini twin-like thing where they're nice and easy and cheap bikes to run. As racing goes, there's no such thing as cheap racing. Let's not kid ourselves. But if you want a budget class, this is certainly a very attractive one, isn't it, Bradley?
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. And obviously, if it does go wrong and you throw it at the scenery, it's not a lot of bodywork to replace there.
No.
Pretty not simple, because nothing about a motorcycle is simple there, is it? But you understand what I'm trying to say?
No. In relative terms, these are a simple bike at the end of the day. You know, they're not an injected bike. They're just a basic carb bike with cables and things like that. You don't need to be a software engineer to be able to fix the bike at all. And yeah, what bodywork there is, a couple of Halfords rattle cans, and away you go once again.
No, absolutely. So Josh Owens again, he's already gone past me here. He's on his way towards Shellowers at the moment there. So let's have a very quick look in class. So it is Josh Owens leading the C2s, ahead of Finn Chalk, who's leading the C1s. And then the C3 is being led by the number 76 bike of Ian Carter, the man from Brandon then, who will be coming towards the line at any moment now. In fact, there he goes on that black number 76.
Where is Ian overall?
Overall, that is, he's just dropped down to 15th there. I think Richard Carver, number 29, just found his, Robert Carver, sorry, he's just found his way through.
Fair play. Right, leader now just coming back past me, and yeah, he's getting badly held up by the back markers here, I'm afraid. He is so much quicker than these back markers. I mean, at the end of the day, that's why he's being able to lap them on what is almost a 2-minute lap here. So that shows you the sort of pace the leader's got. 10 laps around Oulton Park is a long, in racing terms, relatively way. It's 25 miles or so. And if you're able to go 15 seconds quicker than anybody else, then, or some other people, then you're obviously going to catch them in the full course of time. So anyway, he's got the lap record. He doesn't need to worry about that. Well, whoever gets the fastest lap here today is going to get the lap record at the end of the day. But Josh Owens just proved that talented rider on a reasonably well prepared bike can absolutely nail this sucker.
No, you're absolutely right there. I'm just having a look. Number 7 machine of Sean O'Hara is in the pits there, trying to go back out onto the circuit there, but I don't believe he can do that. So just being told to turn around there. So unfortunately there for Sean O'Hara, I'm not quite sure, but it could well be. He's just at the end of pit lane here. But
I'm not sure what the rules on rejoining a club race are, actually. Yeah, I know we saw that yesterday with one of the sidecars as well, trying to join the race. The race has already started, so I'm not quite sure. It's one of those things I really need to clarify, actually, because I don't know how much of an open pit lane, inverted commas, it is at club racing level.
So the top 11 are through now, Keith. Next up will be the 555 machine of the first, first of the rookies there, James Tucker, who's having a good ride. 3rd place in class. There he goes in towards Old Hall at the moment there. But we are on the last lap now, Keith.
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun. Last lap for Josh Owens. Anyway, if everybody else is going to go the rest distance, we'll be here for another few minutes. But I think that's the trouble. Oh, and that's the 150 machine going straight through the chicanery details there. Who's that? 150?
That's Roy Wilson.
Roy Wilson, there you go. Thank you, mate. Haven't had too many offenders on the chicanes here. It's not the quickest way through this part of the track. And obviously you've worked up here, Bradley, so you can imagine how fast it would have been down through here without the chicane.
Yes.
It was a very a certain amount of testicular fortitude was required to go through here quickly, shall we say?
Yeah, definitely, because obviously you can't really do much about that wall on the outside because there's a road behind it, isn't there?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's brave.
Yeah, you're right. The amount of runoff here is definitely restricted by the fact that there's a public road around the outside, and or a lake on some bits of it as well. So definitely interesting topography around here.
Well, Josh Owens has crossed the line now to take the checkered flag there, and he does a 54.434 on that final lap key. So Josh Owens was really pressing on.
Wow.
So
Okay, I'm not being funny. That's half a second quicker than Josh leading, and for those who don't know Josh leading, I can promise you he was a very quick rider. There's no two ways about it. So, wow.
yeah, I think Josh won 2, maybe even 3 CV500 championships at Bemsee, didn't he? So
He certainly did.
so Owens, Chalk, Davidson, all across the line. Alfie Davidson, Keith, I'm not sure what's more impressive, a 54.4 for Josh Owens or Alfie Davidson getting third from the back of the grid.
Okay, what time did he do in the end?
It was a 56.675 as his fastest, but that is his second fastest time, so that'll put him in the middle of the front row.
Yeah, and if he can go with Josh next race, you never know, he might be able to take the fight to him, because there's nothing like a quicker rider to drag you up to their pace very rapidly indeed. So